Ladies and gentlemen, today we're looking at an ML 350 from Mercedes, and today I'm going to be doing an auxiliary battery replacement. If your auxiliary battery is going bad, you will be greeted by this message: visit workshop with a white battery on your instrument cluster.
Part number is 04039, and as you know, the main battery is underneath passenger seat, front passenger seat, and next to that is the auxiliary battery as well. These auxiliary batteries unfortunately go bad, and when they do, or the main purpose of the auxiliary battery is such that if your main battery dies, you can put your foot on the brake and take the car out of park, put it in reverse, put it in neutral, and mainly for when you want to get it towed if you have a dead battery. The gear selector is electronic, and as you know, if you have a dead battery you can't do that, so that's what this is for. In the background we have a chocolate Mercedes chocolate wafer that I picked up at the dealership as well.
Let's get started. Bring the passenger seat all the way to the front.
So you're going to remove the cover, exposing the battery compartment. Also, you can bring this carpet up and lifting, there's a little tab right here where my fingers is. Pop that tab up and you can then pull out this vent port. What we're going to do is we're going to pull this tab up and out. What we're interested in replacing is the auxiliary battery, and that auxiliary battery is over here, nestled under the carpet up there to the right. So once all of that has been removed, bring the seat backwards. Bring it all the way back, as far back as possible. Then you're going to raise the seat up. Once the seat is raised up,
Next we'll bring the carpet forward, and that will give us better access to the battery compartment below and also to the auxiliary battery as well.
then we're going to bring the seat forward once more. Then we're going to close the front door. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, at this point you're going to remove your key from the ignition or the starter switch. If you have a vehicle that has no ignition switch but a push to start button, listen very carefully. You have to make sure that your vehicle's onboard electronics have a status 0. That means you turn off the engine, all electrical systems, radio, air conditioner, everything like that is off. Using the keyless go start stop button. Once you have done that, you must open the driver's door, and with the driver's door open, the vehicle onboard electronics have a status of 0. That means they're completely off. You do that for both the ignition with the key and without the key. You leave that front driver's door open. Alright? You must leave it open. That will ensure that all systems are basically off. So using a 10mm socket, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove or disconnect the battery negative lead, and the negative lead is right there with the brown wire. Once that's loosened up, then I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Then we're going to reach in and we're going to remove the positive terminal cover. Then using the same 10mm bolt, we're going to reach in there and we're going to disconnect or loosen that connection point right there. So that's disconnected. Now we're going to remove the battery ventilation tube. And the battery ventilation tube is right here. We're going to pull it out of the battery. Move that off to the side so that we can reconnect it when the time comes. Then, so using a 13 millimeter socket, we're going to go in there and we're going to loosen these up. The first one. Grab the second one. Okay. That's one. This is the battery mount bracket. It keeps the battery in position so that it doesn't bounce around. So I'm using a needle nose pliers. To bring up and out the battery mount with the two nuts. I'm going to put that in a safe place. To replace this, you bend down this tab, slide the battery out. You always disconnect the negative lead first, always. So the negative lead is disconnected. Now we'll go ahead and disconnect the positive lead. I'm doing this one-handed, so things are gonna fall around. So we're gonna take this old secondary battery out. There it is, 04039. That's the Mercedes-Benz rechargeable auxiliary battery OEM replacement. We're gonna put that in now. We're gonna start by taking off these protective tabs. Positive, negative, and when connecting a battery, you always start by connecting the positive side first and the negative side last. So that's the positive side. Now we're gonna connect the negative side, the ground side. Then we're gonna put it back, slide it back into its little protective section, right back in there. Then we're going to push back up the tab just to keep it in position. And that's how you do the secondary battery. Now, in my opinion, the most important part of this job is connecting back the rebreather hose. This is a safety concern, leads to the health of the passengers, and it allows all the poisonous gases to escape outside the vehicle when the battery is being charged. And to connect it back, you have to know what to connect it to. We're going to connect it to that port right there. Alright, so there it is. It's connected down and out of the vehicle so that those gases can leave. Now, down. Like before, you don't want to drop it. Make sure that that connection, that rebreather hose didn't come loose. and the positive battery disconnected. Okay, so the battery is back in its rightful area. When connecting the mounting bracket, there's a lip on this side. There's no lip on that side. So you want this lip to be towards the battery. So we're gonna just reach in there. And put it in position. And with my luck, it fell right in place. So that you can start it. And if you lose the paper on the way back up, not a big deal. This is to keep the battery in place such that it doesn't move around. Tube, remember that? Connect it right here where we unplugged it. Now we're going to connect the positive lead. Once you've retightened the battery post, go ahead and cover it. We're going to connect the negative post. You don't want to keep dangling it or touching it up and down. Just one complete connection, like that. We're going to put back the protection cover. That's what that's called, protection cover. Next thing we're going to connect is the air channel. Air channel is responsible for providing heat and air conditioning. Once you've connected to the mating receiving end, then this plastic cap goes back into this hole right here. And then we're going to take this carpet here and bend it down and under this stuff right here. So I'll just do that and I'll be right back. Like that. This vent cover back in place. And there you go. At this point, you'll come back through the front driver's side door, put your key in the ignition, put it to position 2, and all of your electronics should come back. You should not need a radio code. Everything should be fine. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe so you'll get all my latest updates on Mercedes. Especially, I do other cars too, but I'm focusing on Mercedes at the time, for the time being. And share this video with your friends, forums, and if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I usually respond same day or by next day if I'm not around on the weekend. Peace out.